Explosions. Smoke columns over the Paracels. And then, silence. 2 vessels reportedly go under just as U.S. carriers finish maneuvers nearby. China calls it provocation. Washington says lawful ops, no involvement. For the next 96 hours, sensors light up, radios go quiet, and coastal batteries sit on hair trigger. Was this a deliberate strike or an automated misread of U.S. radar signatures?
The South China Sea is boiling again, and this time it's not just about any disputed reef or any fishing boat. A dramatic mid-air confrontation demanding that Canberra should respect its sovereignty and stop what it calls provocative surveillance activities. Well, the timing, it couldn't be more explosive. But the Chinese Foreign Ministry went a step further, calling it a cover-up, saying that Australia was just trying to provoke China and then play a victim. Here, China even launched a formal diplomatic protest here.
Stay with me. We'll dissect satellite plumes, eyewitness timelines, and the decision loops that can turn a blip into a kill order before the next misstep closes a sea lane worth trillions. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Now the Pacific is ground zero for a new arms race as the US-China rivalry erupts beneath the waves. Beijing's silent hunters grow deadlier. American subs pack cutting-edge tech, but Washington struggles to outbuild its surging rival. With every launch and commission, the world's 2 superpowers are racing ahead for global naval supremacy.
The U.S. Navy's submarine force has reigned supreme, an invisible, lethal arm of American might. Now the Americans have a new competitor. It's not the Russians, it's the Chinese.
2 black plumes. Then quiet radios. In minute 1, a frontline commander sees a cluttered scope, scattered tracks, a dead zone where 2 returns used to be, and a spike of noise that could be jamming or panic traffic riding the same bands. You have seconds to label it, accident, strike, or bait. At H+0, space-based eyes sweep. Low clouds, but the thermal bloom pops on infrared. The first lane starts logging heat and shadow, frame by frame. Maritime AIS should confirm hull IDs, but several beacons near the Paracels blink out at once. The second lane goes patchy. Along the reefs, coastal radar sectors flip from standby to active and widen their search gates. That's lane 3, and it starts to howl. By H+2, eyewitness calls push into command nets. Explosions lit up the horizon. Beijing frames it as provocation. Washington answers with lawful ops. Meanwhile, the AIS map shows a clean hole, as if a hand wiped a cluster from the plot. That hole matters more than the statements. It tells you who wants to be seen, and who doesn't. Inside a coastal defense network, unknowns move through a tight chain. Search radars paint the sea and hand off raw hits to filters. ESM sniffs for emitters, navigation radars, data links, cheap jammers. If a return doesn't answer IFF, the track keeps climbing the ladder. Behavior matters: course toward restricted waters, speed change, emission shifts. A routine blip can become a classified track, then a threat, then a target, 1 staircase, 4 steps, and gravity pulling down. At H+6, fire control radars pulse on. That's the dangerous hum. Shore-based anti-ship batteries may be tied to decision aids that rank targets by proximity, angle, and signal type. The risk is the automated kill loop. Software shortens thought. A weapon solution appears before the duty officer even finishes the checklist. If comms are degraded, the machine's certainty can outrun human doubt. Actors stack up in the water column. Planned cutters patrol the edges. Maritime militia blend with fishing craft, nets out, radios tight. Legitimate fishing boats try to work through the chaos. Allied frigates sit outside claimed lines, sensors up, voices down. Emkin choices set the stage for misreads. An active set screams, "Track me," but yields a clean fingerprint. A silent hull gives nothing back and looks like a ghost on an angry screen. At H+12, satellites catch smoke with distinct thermal layers. A strike often leaves a hot spike and metal scatter, but onboard fires can mimic that glow. Scuttling can look neat and vertical, with fewer high-temp pixels. Spectral cues help, soot chemistry, burn duration, but they don't convict alone. You need pattern, not a single frame. By H+18, deliberate and accidental paths start to separate. A planned shot profile leaves signs, pre-briefed sectors go active together, comms stay dry and short, jamming lines up with the firing window, and official messaging drops on schedule. An accidental launch stutters. You hear scramble in the voice net, see mismatched radar modes, and watch immediate local search unit sprint to the scene without a script. At H+24, AIS gaps widen, then a few pings return from the periphery. That drip feed looks like selective silence, not system-wide failure. Coastal radars narrow beams onto specific bearings. ESM logs a new emitter, short bursts, cheap, maybe a fishing radar kicked on under stress. In that noise, a wrong correlation can weld two separate contacts into one threat. By H+36, an air defense logic loop has its teeth in the plot. Tracks without IFF get priority. Tracks without comms get suspicion. Tracks near the last known impact point get pressure. You can feel the bias push. It's the classic fog of war trap, like a crowded highway where one brake tap becomes a pileup. H+48 brings clearer imagery. Wakes show where hulls were and where they fled. A clean S-turn near the hole suggests a ship dodged debris, not a missile seeker. Search craft grid the area. No triumphant broadcasts, just methodical sweeps. H+72, the network cools. Fewer radars on fire control, more on search. Voice net steady. The event timeline tilts toward a misidentification cascade, hot sensor nets, choked comms, and compressed oversight that turned a return into a near trigger pull. At H+96, the board holds three truths: smoke happened, signals dropped, and decision aids ran faster than people. Now we test that against harder ground, fresh imagery, recovered ship tracks, and the legal lanes where the incident sat. In seas worth trillions, speed kills. Not steel. Not fire. The fastest thing is the decision loop that slaps the wrong label on a return and turns it into a target. Experts warn the risk spikes when automated defenses misread MCAN gaps and IFF silence. One lock. One bad handoff. A spiral. This is the story of sensors outrunning judgment. If you want disciplined breakdowns before the next incident writes its own rules, subscribe. Comment your choice below, calculated strike or automated misread. Stay sharp. The next 96 hours in the South China Sea will be decided by sensors, not speeches.